Oh. Yes, this is Invisible Chris stream now. This is actually how I've been planning my comeback is I'm gonna be unseeable. Just just in a disembodied voice and Michelle's living room. That's the new style.
Nine card spread. So it's nice and involved. It's nice
Chris has been
and
the
worth the
chair all
time,
along.
especially for looking ahead to the next 30 days. So I'm gonna shuffle. I'm gonna look at the chat too. Everybody's saying invisible Chris.
Yeah.
I can see him, but I don't feel like creating a display capture window for Zoom.
Nah.
Because we kind of decided this. I knew he was coming, but I didn't know he wanted to be on voice. So I was like, I kind of suspected. I was like, is he going to be in the stream chat or are we going to Zoom? So I didn't know until like 10 minutes before. I was like, all right, we'll just do voice.
This works. I like being a disembodied voice. It's pretty freeing. I imagine it's much what being a ghost is like.
I'll tell everybody Chris is dead.
Yeah.
Sometimes I still hear his voice. Yes, I can see invisible people. That's just proof I'm magic.
That's that Pisces magic right there.
Yeah, I can see Chris even when he's a ghost. I'm very excited to get to show off these cards because Lion did such a good job on the artwork. There's references to all sorts of different things I've done. I believe there are also references to things I love. Like it's not just like my work, but also things that I'm into. And the Pentacles suit is all horror movies. They're all referencing horror movies. The cups is all kaiju and Godzillas and elder gods and things.
Dope.
The wands is all pride themed. Like they're all different pride colors. And the swords is all angels. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And there's also, there's references to Detroit Evolution. There's references to Devil's Advocate, which is my first film. There's a live scream card. There's a lot of really cool references to Iggy as well throughout. So, well, I'll get to see that today. I love having that fish magic, says Luna Lens. All right. So, we start with a split deck. All right, which one you want to go first? They're gonna all go back into the.
I pick which one, like and how we shuffle
yeah,
it.
you stack it, yeah. So
stack that middle one first. Yeah, sorry. Put the left on top of the middle and the right on top of that.
Left in front of the middle, right on top of that. All right. I hope your left is my left and such.
Sure. It'll all work out the way it's supposed to.
I guess you have to be watching the stream because you can't see my my hands otherwise.
Yeah.
I just realized.
I got the stream up muted, and like your image of you is like a second behind your voice.
Oh, word. But hey, at least it's not that much of a delay.
That's good.
All right, so 4, 3, 2, got it. And I don't do reverse because I don't know how to read them. So I just do, and also they can be kind of depressing, so I just do normal. The only thing that's a little tricky about this deck is that telling what's up is a little hard. The up ones are slightly more bright. And that's it. Okay. Oh, let's see what we got.
How we doing?
Oh, the tower. Sorry, Chris.
Oh no.
Maybe that'll be a thing to avoid. Whew. Okay. Let's get these. Everybody can see them. Interesting spread. I guess we'll just have to see those later. Those will be a surprise.
This will be a surprise. Yeah. I'm excited.
All right. So, let me get my book. So, the way this is broken down, this is what to avoid in the coming month. Actually, I might. I think this is actually one you read from the bottom up, so they won't be a surprise for long. We have to start with those.
Okay. I'm gonna take notes.
Take notes. It's being recorded, Chris.
Oh, that's right.
You can always come back and watch this later.
That's right.
So this is your current self, and then this is your monthly theme. So I like to start there because, I mean, we should probably start with where you are now, and not...
Where am I now?
Where are you now? All right. So, like I said, some of these cards I recognize offhand. Like, I know what the Tower means. I know what the Hermit means. I think I know what the Magician means. But once you get into the different numbers of the different suits, I get a little lost sometimes. Because I'm still very much... it's 72 cards. It's a lot to memorize. So, let's go and browse and our reference deck here. 5 of Cups. I can trust some amount of what I remember, but yeah, okay. 5 of Cups, current self, mourning. That's what this is.
God.
Represents loss. When it Yep. When it appears, feelings of disappointment, regret, sadness, and grief are at work. The loss suffered is something dear to the heart, whether a relationship, loved possession, or cherished dream. It might be voluntarily taken, but it doesn't make it any less painful.
Oh God. Well, that's dead on. I'll keep the details to myself, but I feel very seen by this deck.
Already feeling red.
Oh, yeah.
But
just the first card. Oh
God. But the lesson to be learned from this card is that with loss also comes change and opportunity. We can avoid it if we are we can avoid loss if we avoid pursuing what we want. But if we have the courage to risk loss, we may also gain true fulfillment. And I think that, I actually get this card quite a bit in mine as well. I think I got it. I actually, Chris, I drew this month too.
Oh, wow.
Which I think you know about why.
Yeah. I can think something.
So yeah, it does represent a loss, even though voluntarily taken, but it does mean that you now have a chance to grow, and that is your current self. So I think that this is just one, and I don't know what slot this tower is in yet, but much like the tower, it is very much about things have been as bad as they possibly can be, and they're making a turn now. You're on the other side of something. So yeah, let's continue. Knight of Pentacles is your monthly theme. So what does your month look like? Now, Pentacles, Lion did Pentacles, and that's usually like what it's interpreted as. I actually like to use the circles as coin, which is an alternative interpretation of this suit, because they are often connected to money and wealth. I hear Bear in the background.
Yeah, I'll mute while you're talking.
No, it's cute. I love hearing Borks. I love them on Greg's streams too. When you hear it, Abram used Bork. It was very effective. So, 9 of Pentacles or 9 of Coin, depending on how you want to see it. This is a very nice card. So this is your monthly theme. It represents a well-dressed woman in a beautiful garden, typically, although this is a lighthouse, and it represents Harper's Island, which is my favorite horror series. That was what Lion did for this. So she got here by working hard and is now enjoying the fruits of her labor, acted with discipline, taming her impulses that she's tamed on her own. When this card appears in a reading, it may be time to act with discipline. You will accomplish much by quieting your animalistic instincts. It could also be time for self-reliance, for taking charge of your own future. You might be craving more independence.
Wow, yeah.
The card could also mean that you have already accomplished much, and now is time to indulge in the rewards that you deserve. So take yourself out on a date for some self-care. It literally says that on the card.
Damn! All right, shit. Okay.
It could also be telling you that you give off the impression of not needing anyone else, or could represent somebody else that gives that impression. But this is monthly theme: independence, self-care, getting and also discipline, also knuckling down and making a list, making a plan for what you want to do, and starting on that plan. But
I love that.
And it's January, so that's kind of it for everybody. And everybody in the chat saying treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
You have accomplished a lot, so I think that that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that a lot. That's very good. Very seen so far. See, I told you that shuffle was going to work itself out. I knew it.
All right, now on to the rest. So now we get to figure out what the tower is. Ah, yes, interesting. So this is in the key goal slot. This is the goal of the month is the tower. And like I said, the tower, you know, it's a scary card. It's oh my god, chaos, everything breaking apart, everything ending. But it actually is the rock bottom card. It's things are as bad as they have been, and now we are, you know, overcoming the change. And so let me find the more details on this. It's a card of shock and chaos. The structures and systems you've built are getting shook. Assumptions you've taken for granted are going to be thrown into question, and you're going to be forced to think in brand new ways. This card can indicate a surprising event or an emotional outburst. It may be a reminder to set aside a little money each month just in case and have an emergency plan. The advice that the tower is telling you is to shake up your life. Take a look at deeply held assumptions. Do they serve you? Get outside your normal mode of thinking by taking a trip, getting rid of old belongings, trying something new, exploring a new philosophy. Drastic changes are required. So this is the key goal. So this is the aspiration of this month. Again, to try new things, to shake up your life, all that.
Bit of a theme going on now.
a big theme of change, for sure.
Wow. Okay. All right. Tower.
I told you I was magic, Chris.
Yeah, man. This magic is like magic is spilling my life all over the internet right now. It's great.
We have any secrets left after this?
Yeah, I don't think I'll have no secrets by the end of this.
All right, Four of Cups. This is in the slot of the obstacle to overcome. It's a sleepy kaiju. I wonder if this means laziness.
Laziness, yeah, I wonder.
Sometimes the drawings really are a hint, and then sometimes not at all. Often not at all.
Yeah.
Four of Cups. Interesting, yeah, you're the Five of Cups as well. So, an Eight of Cups up there, so you have a lot of cups. Which I believe, I think Wands is creativity, Swords is like an intellect, Cups I think is emotion. So yeah, interesting. So this indicates withdrawal from an emotional situation. It could be voluntary, but taking time out to contemplate and meditate on your emotions, such as finding yourself tired of a situation and lacking the emotional resources to proceed. So this is emotional exhaustion.
Yep.
This is the obstacle to overcome.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
I kind of wish the rest of y'all could see this ghost right now.
Oh, my God. Oh, wow. Okay. Everything. Oh, man. It was one of those things that was in my head because I hear you're supposed to, like, touch a deck to, like, put your energy into it. And I was, like, looking at your deck on the screen, and I was, like, shooting my energy into the internet, into this deck. And we're going to see what happens. And I feel like it put too much. It put too much. It knows me too well. It knows too much.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, God.
We're not even halfway through these cards yet. All right, so the key to this card is to remember the answers and inspiration you need to go on are available to you. Be sure that you do not become so absorbed in apathy that you don't see the emotional opportunities available. And if you've taken time out to contemplate, pay close attention to your dreams and subtle signs. So get a little intuitive to overcome this obstacle. Sometimes there is a need to withdraw, and the Four of Cups may be advising you to do that. The warning here is to not get stuck. Take the time you need to rest, contemplate what has come before, but use this time to seek inspiration so you can move forward. I think this is also kind of a self-care card, but it's also saying don't wallow in, don't get too complacent.
Yeah.
And I know that certainly politically, that's something that we're concerned with is, you don't want to get complacent now that, oh my God, all those executive orders that are fixing the last 4 years.
Right.
But also on a personal note, yeah, it is really, just personally, I was very burnt out this week after working very hard on that showcase, and I really did have to take like 3 or 4 days and just let myself play with Legos for like 3 days, just because I was so burnt out after having worked like 12 hours a day for like 6 days straight on trailers. But at the same time, I'm also like, okay, I'm starting to feel like I need to get back up, and I need, I'm getting too complacent with sitting on the couch all day and doing nothing. It's very easy to get in the lull of, if work is a muscle, and if you don't use it, then it's very easy to fall out of the habit. So,
I love that. I love that. Work is a muscle. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's definitely very, very, very relevant. I think, it's definitely in the space of like, for me, it's definitely in the space of like, take space to yourself a little bit when it's time. So interesting.
So next you've got the Hermit. This is actually in your major accomplishment slot.
Okay.
The Hermit indicates a need or desire to withdraw from the world. So you.
There's a theme here. There's a theme.
I think the Hermit is the theme. It seems. Jesus.
Yeah.
But this is your major accomplishment, is withdrawal. He's a wise old man who's learned much about himself and his world through deep introspection. When you see this card in a reading, your soul may be craving a retreat in order to replenish and restore. By taking space and solitude now, you'll be ready to engage with and guide others when they most need you later. The answers you seek will be found within you, not in a book or a website, and it may be advising you to seek the guidance of a wise counselor or mentor. I
got my therapist on speed dial.
Well, that's good. And then this is in the major accomplishment slot. So it is talking about withdrawal as an aspiration. Yeah. But not in a, I don't think not in a negative way. I think just in, taking space for yourself and taking space for taking that moment of pause and deciding, okay, where do I go next? And setting yourself up for success versus kind of just grinding along for a long time, directionless, and just going through things the way they've always been. This is something Austin says all the time, and it's something that I've experienced as well, having worked in manufacturing. Is that one of the biggest flaws in corporate America? Is that's the way we've always done things, and we hear it. I heard it all the time, and he hears it all the time. And I think that it is important sometimes to stop and say, okay, what's working and what's not, and taking stock of everything. And so you'll be accomplished in that way.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right.
Seems like a quiet month you're about to have.
Yeah, man. It's like a quiet month. It seems to be what I need. Oh, goodness.
All right. Knight of Pentacles. What to avoid? What to avoid this month?
Oh, no.
This is a warning. This is actually all these cards are sort of warnings. You have what to avoid, what to embrace, where to find support, and advice and encouragement. So just kind of this is kind of the therapy section.
Lay it on me.
So Knight of Pentacles, what to avoid. I will say up front, the royalty cards I find sometimes hard to read, personally, because they always, the way that my app describes them is strange, because they represent people. And sometimes it's like, if it's your current self and you get like a knight or a king or a queen, it's like, oh, that represents where I am right now. But if it's like advice or like what to avoid, it can be a strange card. So bear with me as I try to figure out what the fuck this means. Just generally, this means wealthy, successful, practical, but also materialistic, stubborn, conservative, and father. That's just some buzzwords for what this means. But the card could represent a person you know or an aspect of yourself. The King of Pentacles is successful and ambitious, practical and careful. He's a manager and owner of resources. He's wealthy, careful with his money, but does not mind spending it on luxuries. He's generous, but always considers what's in it for him and didn't get to where he is by giving everything away. A thoughtful, considerate lover, husband, and father, the King of Pentacles is a family man. He is calm, patient, but can get upset when his loved ones act erratically. So yeah, this is in your what to avoid, and I'm a little mystified by that, because this is somebody who is very successful. This is somebody who is very shrewd. I guess when we're looking at the negative aspects of this card, there is a stubbornness, there is a materialism, there is a frugality, maybe now's not the time to be, frugal and stubborn and stuck. Maybe now is the time to be a little bit more adventurous, a little bit less conservative, a little bit more let's try new things. Let's not worry so much about, the budgeting of it. Maybe don't be so like tight on the purse strings.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean that's my best interpretation.
Spend that money.
Well, and not just spending money, but also like if you want to take a new class, if you want to take,
Right.
if you want to have a new experience, if you want to, go somewhere you've never gone before, maybe not traveling, but even in your own town, if there's like a God, I'm trying to think of anything you could do in a pandemic. If there's a new park,
Go get an Airbnb by yourself.
I don't know. I mean, but if there's like a new park you've wanted to go to or something, just don't think too hard about like, oh yeah, but like, is that practical? Is that is that going to contribute to my overall plan? I think that being experimental is maybe the implication here.
I think you just hit the nail on the head. The idea of like, is that something that's going to contribute to my overall plan? And like that idea of worrying about whether or not this is a thing that's going to contribute to your quote unquote plan, that resonates with me a lot.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times it is, I know we're both very busy, and a lot of times when something we do is not directly like contributing to the master plan, it's like, why am I wasting time on this? But I think that if you are in a time of withdrawal and contemplation and like taking stock, there's no better time to experiment. There's no better time to try new things and take it as an opportunity to, I mean, even just like playing a new video game that you've like been meaning to try for.
Oh, you know what I downloaded yesterday because we've been talking about it and I've never played it.
Oh, did you get Nier Automata?
Well, that I should do too, but I downloaded Fallout 4.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I thought you'd played Fallout 4 before.
I have played Fallout 3 but it's just been like I just never picked up Fallout 4. I just missed it.
Well, that's good research.
Oh yeah, I know. I was like, I gotta fucking play that game. So I downloaded it the other day.
I'm checking the chat now. Everybody's yelling, "Yes, Chris." It's a good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
It's
Oddly
really
enough, video games I think sometimes are a thing that they're something I'm passionate about. They're a form of storytelling that I love and a form of escapism that I love, but often a thing that I chop off the list. Like, no, I can't be playing video games.
Austin's walking in the background in his new shark hoodie. Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. I kind of get one good game in every year. Like last year was Cyberpunk, 2 years before that was Spyro, a year before that was Nier Automata, and the year before that was Fallout 4. And that's kind of, and then maybe I'll get in like a summer game. Like one year my summer game was Prey, one year it was Crash Team Racing. So I don't have a lot of time for it either, and I kind of like, I'll find like one game and then I'll like put 40 hours into it and then I'll kind of put it aside forever. Fallout 4 was, I mean, it got me out of a slump, I'll tell you that. Like I was very, very, very depressed in 2015. I was in my horrible chemistry job and spent the entire year. I mean, it's the lowest I've really ever been. I didn't realize it until 2016 came along and I started to climb out of it. And I could look back and be like, oh my God, yeah, it was a really bad place. And I took like 2 to 3 months at the beginning of 2016, and I just played the shit out of Fallout 4. I mean, it would be what I would do for, 8 hours when I would get home every day. It was the only leisure thing that I did. And it helped. And it really, it's actually where I got the idea for Fallout Sanctuary was during that period of time. It was the first time I had creative energy again after a year. And I've always wanted to make that, and it's baffling that I finally am making it after 5 years because it's just been with me for so long now.
Tonight. I'm starting it tonight.
So the Eight of Swords. This is in What to Embrace. So this is weird. What a weird card to put in this spot. Okay. So the Eight of Swords is a card of feeling trapped or limited. When this card shows up, you are probably thinking that you have no viable options available and maybe feeling weakened by circumstances in your life. It's quite likely that the limitations you feel are self-imposed. You're imprisoned by your own thinking more than anything, and how you use your mind is your choice.
Wow.
So this is okay. This isn't too weird to be in the what to embrace, because like the concept of feeling trapped is a weird thing to embrace. But I think that the advice part here is what to embrace. The idea that your limits are self-imposed.
Yes.
Ask yourself what you get out of remaining stuck, and what you could gain if you were to move forward. Often, all that is needed to get unstuck is the courage to think in a new way. So, a lot of times change is scary. But taking stock of, okay, so if I went forward with this change, what would I lose? And what would I have to potentially gain? That's something worth embracing.
Yeah.
What you doing, Austin?
Getting my ring.
Hi, Austin.
Chris says hi.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah.
Austin's going to stream Minecraft later? Minecraft, yes.
Oh, yes.
All right, so where to find support? The Magician. I think you're already there.
Yeah.
The Magician. Personal power, intention, will, and resourcefulness. When you get this card into reading, you have the potential to make things happen. The key to taking control of your life is to have a vision and then take action to make it happen. Intention and action are both required. When your intentions and your actions are aligned, real magic occurs. Start gathering the resources you need to meet your goals. The universe is empowering you to manifest your vision. Take advantage of this opportunity by staying focused and applying your power. Where to find support is yourself. This is not another person. This is you. So that's not that you're alone, obviously,
Right.
but it means that I mean it comes down to you. You got to have those intentions and actions in alignment, and it's an empowering thing of personal power is what this card means. You have everything you need, is what it's saying.
Yep. Yep. I love that. This is it's so painfully accurate. Oh God, I love it.
All right, and finally, the Eight of Cups, advice and encouragement. Oh, what kind of kaiju is this? It's one of the Pacific Rim ones. There's a lot of Pacific Rim kaiju. Lion went very deep cut with some of the monsters in the deck.
Hell yeah.
Eight of Cups.
I saw that movie twice in theaters.
Twice. I think I might have as well. I know I went with Greg and Mom once. I definitely saw it at least once. I remember the first time it was amazing. I love that movie so much.
Yes.
Greg said he rewatched it a couple days ago and he's like, it's still amazing. All right, the Eight of Cups, advice and encouragement. This is a card of letting go and moving on.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Although a retreat is voluntary, it is also painful. It often means taking time alone to contemplate one's emotions and decide if leaving is the best route. It could mean literally leaving, changing homes, quitting a job, going on trip, whatever, or leaving behind hopes and dreams. So esoterically, like packing something up. I also drew this one this month. When the card appears, you or someone involved is tired of feeling disappointed and hopeless and is ready to look for better things. Often the card indicates a craving for spiritual deepening as well. So yes, advice and encouragement. I mean, we have a theme. We have a theme in this reading.
Houston, we have a theme.
And so I think it's a little weird that this has come so late, because this seems like the kickoff to like the rest of the solitude and retreat and the contemplation. But I do think that it ultimately fits the rest. It is Spirit Quest is what it says. Some of the buzzwords: Spirit Quest, leaving behind, taking space, retreat. So I think it just fits with the rest. Advice and encouragement is just keep meditating and doing the spiritual deepening like you are today. I think you're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's everything. Oh
Hell
my
yeah.
goodness.
Hell yeah, dude. I love this. This is everything I needed to hear and everything I already knew. I love it. It's great. Goddamn.
Well, I think that if anything, it's saying that you are very much on the right track. And, you know, if you are taking that pause, taking that retreat, taking that moment to think and plan and also experiment and play and, you know, rest, that's where you need to be. And that's the next 30 days. That's the next month. And it'll be interesting to see what your future looks like after this period of time. You know, if you have a lot of like things are happening and like the world card and the star card and stuff like that, where stuff starts to come together and projects start and that sort of thing. Yeah, which is what I hope anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, I'll this is all super relevant. I'll text you later. I'll let you know what's up. Wow. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. This was a lot of fun for having a surprise guest for our first tarot stream. I think everybody in the chat's really loved it as well.
Yes, thank you everyone in the chat. It's been good. This has been real.
Everybody says, "What does it feel like to be a ghost?"
Oh my god, it's very you know, well, as a ghost, I'm trying to take some time to myself. I'm really trying to let go of what it was like to be alive, you know.
Oh, but I can be invisible, so that's cool, you know?
Yes. Yeah, but invisibility is great.
I'll rob a bank one day.
And that power is within me. I have all the answers I need.
Well, you're welcome to stick around as I read other people, or if you've got stuff to go do, you can jet. But I guess it's 12:45, so we have another hour or so to read some folks in the chat. And the way this is going to work is we're going to start a giveaway in the chat, and if you want to be entered for the next tarot reading, just type in !join, and that'll be a 2-minute raffle, and mods will get that started.
Well, I'm going to roll out just because I have some place to be, some things to take care of, some things related to this reading. But this has been awesome, and I'm probably going to binge the rest of this later tonight because I want to know how this went for everybody else.
Hopefully nobody else gets like, hey, things are terrible and you're about to suffer.
Things are terrible. Go be alone. Go sit in the hall. Oh my god.
Oh man, I forgot to. Oh well. One thing that I like to do at the end of a reading is look at the bottom of the deck and see what you are avoiding. I'll try to remember to do that with everybody else.
I'll do that.
Yeah, I'll have to do that next time. But yes, thank you very much for joining me, Chris. Have a great day.
Yes, thank you everybody. I'm gonna go sit in the hall and play Fallout 4. Okay, bye.
Bye. Oh goodness. Well, that was a lot of fun. Let's end the Zoom meeting. Okay, cool. All right, so is our raffle going? I'm very excited to share Fallout 4. Yeah, our raffle's going. I'm very excited to share Fallout 4 with anyone, honestly. It's great. Go ahead and shuffle in, and we will see who the next... Fun is a word. Yes, but you know, it is important sometimes to get really, really, like... to be reminded that it's okay to take time for yourself. You know, I think a lot, especially because we've been in America through such a 4 years where we've all really needed to depend on each other, especially this past year with the pandemic. We've all very much needed to be there for other people and check in on other people and everything. And it's very easy sometimes to forget about ourselves and to forget to take care of ourselves and to not check in on our own mental health and to wind up stuck in a place where we don't really want to be. And I think, yeah, it's good to be reminded of that sometimes. And it's nice that he got something out of that. Hugs for the next victim. Chris now has time to play a bunch of games. Yes, games are very much self-care, and I will not take any criticism on that. Joe! Joe is the next victim. Lesbian reading. Let's go. Now we'll see if there was an Ada card. Ooh, is there an Ada card? I don't think there's an Ada card. But there's a Re 900 card. That'd be funny if there was an Ada card and we drew the Ada card for Joe. We'll see. So, last night we played a lesbian witch game. Lion said there wasn't one. Oh, well. An Ada card magics itself into existence. Miss Lesbian Witch Game. Well, there's a VOD, and it'll be on YouTube this week. It was a lot of fun. It was a really cute game. I think I liked it better than Blind Men. Blind Men just has too much exposition, and I probably will play Blind Men again on Friday just to get to another ending, but I don't know. Austin's shrugging at me like...
It's not as deep as you'd want it to be.
Yeah, maybe I'll look more into it, and if it ends up being kind of a disappointing game, I won't bother. All right, Joe, so if you don't mind, I'm going to do another month, because that's a good one to do, I think. Seemed to work for Chris, so we'll do a month spread. It's a good, like, meaty spread without, you know, being too complex. It's kind of, like, perfect for a stream. All right, one more shuffle, and then we'll go. Wow, so what other people, so what other games do the Baked Magic people have? Do they have other games? All right, so Joe, I'm going to actually ask you to do the same thing Chris did. Which one goes on top? So which one should I grab first? Oh, Austin's in the chat. Austin's getting set up for Minecraft later. Michelle's got pretty nails. Thank you, Austin. Yeah, they're Holotaco Gradients. The Frosted Metal, or not the Frosted Metals collection, the Holiday Champagne Sparkle, whatever they're called, collection. Middle on top of the right. Great. And then left on top, or the rest on top of the left? I can go like that, or I can go like that. Oh yeah, you have a little bit of delay. It's okay. I know we have a delay. Internet is, I'll drink some coffee while we have the delay. Rest on top, chaos time. Great. Okay. Trying to make sure none of these are reversed, because I don't know how to read them reversed. Yeah, here we go. I wanted to make my nails nice and sparkly because they were magic, you know. I wanted to have them nice for the tarot spread. Okay. So, we got some cups. We got some pentacles. God, I need to drink more. Get some wands, some swords. More wands. Ooh, the pride wands. Lots of wands. Lots of pride wands. I mean, it is gay, Joe. No Ada, but there's gayness. More wands. Cool. So, lots of wands. And like I said with Chris's spread, wands represent creativity. So, we have a very creative month ahead, I think, for you, Joe. And there's also a couple pentacles, which is wealth. There's a couple of swords. Not many swords, just that. But lots of wands. Wand, 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 wand. 4 wands. 2 pentacles, 2 cups. So kind of a diverse spread here. Nothing offhand, like no major arcana, which is interesting. They're all suit cards. So that's interesting. So let's look. Your current self is the Knight of Pentacles. Or King of Pentacles, rather. King of Pentacles. And this, gosh, I can't remember what horror movie this is. I think, oh, I'm blanking. Lion, help me out. But yeah, these are all horror movies. This one up here is Cabin in the Woods, I think, because of that, like, that weapon represents cabin in the woods. I think. Maybe not. I don't know. All horror movies are so similar. Slender and Outlast. I was thinking Outlast as well. Outlast 2, though. Outlast 2, because of the village. Yeah. And then this is Slender. Right. Thank you, Lion. Reverse cards aren't necessarily negative. Yeah, they aren't. I just don't know how to read them. is really the thing. I mean, I'm with my guide here, I only have interpretations for the upright cards, and they don't give me any reversed guidelines. So I'm just kind of like, well, I'm just gonna stick with like the regulars because I don't want to read them wrong. So, King of Pentacles, current self, Joe. This could represent a person you know or will encounter some aspect of yourself. So I said with Chris that the king and the knights and stuff is difficult for me when it's in certain positions. This is one where it's actually pretty easy because it's a self. And so when we talk about the embodiment of a person, it is actually really easy to understand. The King of Pentacles is successful and ambitious, practical and careful. He's a manager and owner of resources. This is actually, I believe, the same one that Chris drew. He's generous, but always considers what's in it for him. Now, Chris drew this in the what to avoid section. This is your current self. So it's a completely different reading. This, we're going to lean more into the just general positive aspects of it, that it's a person who is general, successful, ambitious, practical and careful, conservative, got to where he is because he's been careful with his decision making, and is also generous, but also does make shrewd business decisions or even personal decisions. Doesn't give flippantly or isn't flippant with decision making. Considers things very carefully. Now, Joe, as far as I know, you're not a business owner or anything like that, but I know that I think you are still in school and such. So I think that this is just a card about responsibility, a card about being careful, a card about being thoughtful and not making any rash decisions. And that's kind of where you are now. Joe is CEO of the Ada fan club. Yes, I do agree with that. All right, so the Two of Wands is the monthly theme. So what do we have in store? We've got Tatooine here with bisexual colors. So that's fun. I love the wand suit. It's beautiful in Lion's deck, but just generally they're very nice cards. When this card appears, you are at a point where you have the power to choose. You are filled with creative force and only have to choose what you want to do with this opportunity before committing to a new direction. It is time to look back at where you have come from and forward to where you want to go. You are not stuck with only one option. You don't need to do things the ordinary old way. You have the ability to create an original vision for yourself. Be brave, be bold, and be true. Decide what path you want to take and then set one foot in front of the other. You have the power within you to create your own destiny. That is your monthly theme. That is a great theme. That's a very powerful card. So hoping to do a PhD. Also CEO of being gay on Twitter. Yes. So this is about choice and creative force. This is about having lots of options available. I don't know what type of opportunities you're looking for in your life, whether they be creative or educational, academic, career-wise, even personal, family choices. However, I do think that this is very powerful because this is your monthly theme. This is what you have to look forward to in the next month, is the ability to have free reign of choice, have a lot of different options, and have the sky kind of be your limit in terms of what you're going to do next. And interestingly, so it is January, and so you get this kind of theme a lot, but it's time to look back at where you have come from and forward to where you want to go. This is another card, suiting the theme of the beginning of the year. A lot of people are probably going to draw stuff like this, where you're taking stock of where you are as well. You want to look back at what has worked and use that information when it comes to making the choices in the coming month. So, Page of Swords is your key goal. That's a really dope card. I don't know if it's foreboding or not, but it's the artwork's awesome. It's a very cool looking character, right? The Page of Swords, the key goal. This could represent a person you know or an aspect of yourself. The Page of Swords is youthful, cautious, and thoughtful, seeks truth and justice above all else, is willing to take risks with communication in order to get closer to the truth. He is a student of communication and can learn a lot about himself through his writing and conversations. This could represent some news that could alert you to the truth. So this is a card about justice. This is a card about fighting for what you believe in. This is a card about doing what's right even when it's uncomfortable. This is a key goal for the month, which is... It's very interesting to read for somebody for whom I know very little about. I mean, I know, Joe through Twitter. I know some of Joe's circumstances and stuff through tweets. But for the most part, internally, I have no idea where any of this is going. Yeah, I mean, basically just on the surface level, I suppose the goal is searching for the truth. The goal is searching for... for justice. But it's interesting that you also got the Page of Swords is cautious, because the Knight of Pentacles is also cautious. So this is a current self. So even though you're full of creative force and you're full of opportunities, you're still being a little risk adverse and still being a little careful and shrewd about decision making. You're not making any rash, impulsive decisions. It seems like everything so far is pretty well thought out and pretty well, contemplated, that you're really weighing everything carefully, which is good. Joe says, this is so nice. I thought I was going to get exposed. Oh, damn, I jinxed it. Well, I mean, I don't know how red you feel. Again, at a one-sided tarot reading, it's pretty cold, if I have to say so myself. But yeah, Six of Wands. This Six of Wands is the obstacle to overcome. And the Wands cards, again, are usually pretty positive, so that's an interesting one to be in the obstacle. Interesting. Okay. So the Six of Wands is about praise, recognition, role model, leadership position. When this card appears, you should take pride in your ability to lead and inspire others. You've worked hard and are starting to receive recognition for your accomplishments. Try to receive this acclaim graciously. Be proud, but be aware of conceit. Remember to give gratitude to all those who supported you to get there. I'm going to get 6 gay mages. 6 gay wands. Others are looking at you for guidance now. Responsible and ethical action is required. The most powerful way to teach is by modeling the behavior and attitudes yourself. Take time to celebrate your triumph, but remember, though you've had success, you have not reached your final destination yet. So even though this is a pretty celebratory card, this is saying that you are getting into a leadership position. What you've worked on is starting to pay off. You are very near the end of an accomplishment. It is in the obstacle to overcome slot. So I would say that contextually, this can mean kind of one of two things. One is stay humble. So you might be getting into a position where you are guiding others and other people are looking up to you and other people are giving you lots of praise and, acknowledging your accomplishments. Remember to take that gracefully. Remember to be humble. Don't be braggadocious about it. And remember where you came from. Remember that the people who are looking to you for guidance, you were once in their shoes. And so, and the other option could also be, if we're talking about, something to avoid, you are also, or an obstacle rather, not something to avoid, but an obstacle is that you're very near to the end of the destination, but you're not there yet. So remember that you don't get complacent, don't get lazy, push through. You're almost there, but not quite yet. So don't get lazy, 2 feet before the finish line. So that's my interpretation in terms of why this is in the obstacle slot. Even though it is about, you're accomplishing things. That can be kind of an obstacle in itself because you do want to be able to remain humble during that. And also, if you're close to the destination but not quite there yet, don't get cocky, kid, is what this is saying. We've got the Nine of Wands here. This is major accomplishment. What will actually be your accomplishment in the coming month. Joe says, how do these cards know I ditched my research to play video games today? I'm being read. Don't be lazy. Chris is allowed to play video games for a month. That's what his card was saying. You have to work. All right, so the Nine of Wands is a card about wisdom and strength gained through experience. This is a major accomplishment of the month. When this card comes up in a spread, think back to a time where you had been in a similar situation. What lessons did you learn then that you can apply now? The card, it could be about serving as a warning, that it could be that you think you know what to expect and have your defenses up to protect yourself. And though we learn from experience, there is always the possibility things will turn out better than we expect and people will surprise us. So, past experiences may have you have your guards up about things, but maybe people will turn out to be better than you expect. Be wary of self-fulfilling prophecy. Sometimes when we expect the worst, that's what we get. Notice how you got to where you are through your own choices. You are not a victim. If you are not satisfied with your current position, you have the power to change that too. This is in the major accomplishment slot. So at first glance, it kind of seems like these two would make more sense reversed. But this is about experience. And I think when you tie this back into the Six of Wands, which is saying, hey, if people are looking to you for guidance, remember where you came from, remember you were once in their position too. This is sort of connected to that and saying, think about where you were before and how you got to where you have been. Think about how much effort and energy that you put into it. And take credit for your accomplishment because you are the person who empowered yourself to get there. And so whatever you accomplish in the next month, I think ownership of that accomplishment is an important part of it. So these two are pretty similar, pretty connected, I think. Everything looks better in bisexual. It does. All right, and now we have our therapy section of the month. What to avoid, what to embrace, where to find support and advice and encouragement. Three of Cups is what to avoid. The Cups, watery and emotional. Let's see what we've got. Friendship, celebration, fun, and ritual. What to avoid. What a strange card. When this card appears, it's time to rejoice in friendship. Let me see where this is going. It could be a sign that a new relationship will grow into a real friendship. You might be invited to a party. The card may be advising you to call upon that dear friend that you haven't talked to in a while and set up a date for tea or a night out. It could also indicate some sort of celebratory accomplishment. In romantic readings, it indicates mutual attraction and affection. It could even indicate an engagement or wedding. It's about positive growth from the emotional union of two or more people. What to avoid? Friendship. That's weird. Now everybody's like, avoid social distancing. This is telling you you'll get COVID if you go to a party. I don't know. That's a little baffling. So... all right, let's think about this. So, card may be advising you to call upon that dear friend who you haven't talked to in a while and set up a date for tea or a night out. If we're talking about the reliance on social interaction, the embracing of past relationships and nostalgia, maybe that's what to avoid, because nostalgia can kind of be a toxic thing sometimes. And maybe it's better to just focus on yourself in the future right now. Of course, relationships are very important. Friendship is very important. But it sounds from the rest of this reading like you're very close to accomplishing something. You're very close to the end of something. And you're also in a position where you're juggling a lot of hats and juggling a lot of emotions and responsibilities. Maybe the time for going out and partying and, reconnecting with old friends comes later. Maybe that's an impulse that you're missing people right now, but maybe now is not the time. Don't spend time with Ada. It's such a weird card. I mean, this is my best guess. I'm no expert. That's a very, very strange card to end up in that slot. So, I mean, that's my best guess. Is a sense of nostalgia, a sense of oh, going out and partying and having frivolity with friends and meeting all these new people, like maybe that's not the best. Maybe extroversion isn't the best route this month. Yes, I do have to talk myself out of calling up old friends. It's like, I'd be weirded out if they did that to me. I mean, I think that sometimes we feel that way, and it's self-defeating. But I relate very strongly because I'm also very much the type of person who doesn't like to bother people out of the blue. Even my actual like friends that I talk to all the time, I feel weird about texting people just to catch up. I always feel like I have to have something for them. I have to have something to tell them or ask of them or something. Just to calling to say hi is such a strange concept for me. It's such a millennial thing. But at the same time, I also see all these tweets all the time about how that's just an anxiety symptom, and maybe people just like don't hate me and would like to hear from me. And so, yeah, I mean, but whatever you feel comfortable with, I think is ultimately. I mean, if you feel like it'd be weird if they did it to you, then there might be a point to that, because maybe it is weird, and people are just trying to make us feel better on Twitter. It is such a millennial thing. It's like we like my neighbors. I don't know any of my neighbors, and I knew my neighbors growing up because people would just talk just to talk. But now it's like if you want to get to know your neighbors, you need something. You can't just like knock on people's door and say hi. That's not a thing people do anymore. It's weird. All right. So the Knight of Wands is in the what to embrace. And again, wands are about creativity, so hopefully this isn't completely bullshit. All right, the Knight of Wands, authenticity, leadership, charisma, experience. You're getting a lot of experience in this reading. And I think that's really interesting. A lot about accomplishment and a lot about experience. Like you've paid your dues, Joe. Like that's basically what this whole reading is just screaming. It's just like you have got the experience. You are in a position now where you can teach others and you can lead. Like that is what like the Six of Wands, the Nine of Wands, I think even the King of Pentacles was all saying, and now the Knight of Wands as well. The Knight of Wands is a natural leader, is devoted to those he leads. He's charming and kind and motivated to take action about positive change. He's decisive and courageous. Likes excitement, competition, and challenges. Likes to be surrounded by diverse people. Knows himself well and is very authentic, is a passionate lover, can have a fiery temper, and does best when he expresses his feelings instead of letting them smolder within, and sometimes gets carried away by his enthusiasm and can be impulsive, but even when he experiences loss, he picks himself up and carries on with optimism. This is in the What to Embrace card, so I think that just continuing to embrace those leadership skills and continuing to embrace the fact that you have experience, that you are in a position to lead, that you know yourself well, that you're authentic, that you have a diverse group of folks around you, all things worth embracing, just as a general rule. So not even just for this month, but it's certainly in keeping with the rest of this reading, I think. Imposter syndrome begone, says Pick a Little. Yes, absolutely. It's about avoiding. If anything, this reading as a whole has said to me so far is that you are not an imposter, that you are more than valid in wherever you are, and you shouldn't feel like an imposter. You belong. You have paid your dues. You have experience. You are ready to guide others. Now, the Four of Pentacles is in the Where to Find Support. The Four of Pentacles, matters of security and control are paramount. Stable, cautious, protecting resources, boundaries. That's what this is representing. You've reached a point where you feel secure with your resources, but you don't want to chance anything. You're holding on tight to what you have and not moving from your position of control. You might be protecting your money, your job, your time, or your actual material body, or safety or anything like that. When a sense of security is to be valued, change is also necessary for us to grow. When you let loose and go with the flow, whether by taking a chance with your money, letting someone else be in charge, or clearing out unused clutter, you're creating an opportunity to grow and acquire more. The Four of Pentacles indicates that you have a firm foundation, and this time sitting firmly might be the right thing to do. As you move into the future, you'll have to decide whether you like to stay where you are or use your foundation to continue building. This is where to find support, and nothing is more supportive than a foundation, right? So I think that you are in a good place now, with your career, with your money, with everything else. And you are kind of saying, oh, well, maybe I should, now that I'm stable, now that things are kind of where I want them to be, I don't really want to chance anything. I don't want to change anything. And actually that's a sentiment to embrace. There is like no impulsiveness really in this reading. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of, being the stable person, being the leader, being dependable. And I think that ties into the rest of the reading. So yeah, wherever you are right now, shaking things up too much, I wouldn't say make any big, major, drastic changes right now. I'd say, wherever you are, sit firmly. This whole reading says my PhD application might not get rejected, so that's nice. I don't think it will. I think you're gonna get it. Thank you for the confidence boost, magical gay tarot witch. So yeah, I mean, so you've recently submitted an application. So yeah, I mean, I really hope that that's what's happening. That that's what this is saying. You'll have to let us know. When do you think you'll know whether you'll get it, Joe? Because I'm fascinated by your work, actually, the video game music stuff. It's really cool. And I think that we need more people passionate about stuff like that. And it's really cool to be able to make a career out of such a niche passion as well. Because that's what PhDs are. Is like they have like a really, really niche interest in something and they become like the go-to person for that thing. So I want to like see you on all the National Geographic video game music documentary specials to be like the Ancient Aliens guy, but for like video game music. So finally, the Six of Cups is advice and encouragement. And this is... The cups are still kaiju. I'm trying to remember what movie that is. Oh, Lion, I'm so bad. It might be God. I don't think it's Godzilla. It is King Kong? Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. I didn't know if it was like a specific Skull Island specifically. That's right. I only saw that movie once, and the aspect ratios drove me crazy the whole time. Oh. They kept switching from letterbox to full screen between shots. I don't...
Who's excited for Godzilla vs. Kong trailer tomorrow?
Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. Yeah, I love King of Monsters. It's one of my favorite movies from last year. And I take no criticism. It was amazing. And the soundtrack I want on vinyl because it's...
I tried to get that.
It's so expensive. It's like $75.
It's
It's $100. It's so expensive, but it's so good. Bear McCreary is one of my favorite modern composers. So, and I believe he also did the Gears of War soundtrack, tying it back to Joe. Six of Cups is a card of friendliness, innocence, and childhood. When it appears in a reading, be thankful for small gestures of kindness. Find ways that you can brighten the day of another. If you're having difficulty in some area of your life, tune into your inner child that has always been with you for guidance. You might be thinking of your past, especially your childhood. What lesson from the past is relevant to you now? It might also be that someone or something from your past will be useful to you now. Think back to your past experiences for guidance. This can also represent beautifying your home or choosing a gift. In this case, be simple and authentic. This is in the advice and encouragement. So, inner child, that's the advice and encouragement. Think about your most animalistic, like, inner, desires. It makes it even weirder that we're saying avoid nostalgia and avoid friendliness, seeing as we're saying call upon the inner child. But the inner child is also self, so maybe your own sense of nostalgia in the past, or even just experiences that you've learned in the past. Joseph, this reading didn't call me out of my daddy issues wants. Nice. Well, yeah, no, it's all about it's very career oriented, I think, this reading. Well, not just career, but also creativity. I think you can be creatively a leader. I think you can be creatively accomplished. And so wherever you are, I know you also do writing and some other creative pursuits, and really the PhD stuff is the only thing I actually know about you. So that's probably my own projection of what I think this might be about. But knowing that you did submit that PhD application recently, hopefully that is what this is about. And this is saying that you're going to get it, and you're going to be teaching people soon about it. So that's basically everything that we have in the month. I'm going to do what I didn't do for Chris, though, and I'm going to pull the bottom card. Now, the bottom card of the deck is usually a representation of what we're avoiding most, what we're burying deep and don't want to address. And for this, you got the Strength card, which is really, really interesting. Is this the daddy issues card? Let's see. If this says this represents a father figure, that would be very interesting. So the Strength card. Instinctive drives and survival. When you get the Strength in a reading, it is time to pull upon your deep inner strength. It may be that you've pushed away your animalistic desires and impulses for the sake of logic and spirituality. Strength is urging you to work with the wild part of yourself, find a balance between basic drives and higher aspirations. Getting into your body through exercise, feasting, sex actually opens up new spiritual doorways for personal power. So this is the card of wildness. It's the card of animalistic desires. It's the card of like impulsiveness. And this is at the bottom of the deck. And that, I think that makes enough sense, because everything else is saying firm foundation, be logical, be responsible, don't do anything too risky. Don't do anything too like fiery and like spicy. So this being at the bottom, being kind of that push away, avoid those animalistic desires, avoid that wildness, might actually be the right choice right now. So that's going to be my interpretation of it. So apply for PhD, still be chaotic on Twitch. I got it. I mean, if you want to have a chaotic outlet that is, you gotta channel your chaos somewhere if you've got it. If you've just got it pin up. But I would say that is at the bottom. So just be mindful of that. This isn't a time for quitting school or breaking up with somebody or changing jobs, quitting your job or moving or anything like that. This is definitely a time for being like, okay, I've worked really hard at this one thing and now I'm finally close to the end of it, and I'm going to stay firm until I get it, because I am very, very near to the finish line, and it's time to just be patient and to wait for all of my hard work to pay off, because I'm not an imposter and I am set up for success. Now I just have to wait for it to come. So yeah, that's it looks like we have time for one more, so we'll go ahead and do a giveaway in the chat again. If you would like to be read, just type an ! join, and we will pick one in 2 minutes randomly. S raffle. Glad somebody remembered that, because I swore it was S giveaways again. Hey Austin, it's in this 2-minute interlude. Come promote your Minecraft stream.
I'm on Minecraft.
At what, 3? 2?
When you finish.
When I finish?
Yeah.
I guess I'll just raid you.
If you want.
All right.
You don't have to.
Well, I'll do it. Austin's going to be playing Minecraft over at Austin Bites when we finish it too. What kind of Minecraft?
I just got Minecraft.
Isn't there like a story mode, like a 10-year anniversary edition? Like what kind of Minecraft is it?
I guess this is Minecraft. Regular Minecraft. It's not story mode, it's not
Minecraft, the regular Minecraft.
It's not story mode and it's not dungeons.
All right. Octopunk SMP win. SMP.
Something Minecraft, server Minecraft, something.
I've never played Minecraft.
I know.
I've never played it. It came after my time.
It did not. You just ignored it because it was popular.
It was popular with 8-year-olds. Well, and I ignored it because of the low graphics. The graphic.
Now it's got ray tracing.
But it's still blocks. Tarot reading 1 to 30 seconds.
It's Legos.
Join if you want to join, Zeronith. Exclamation mark join. We played it in college. Yeah, I mean, but I was in college too, and I was getting a degree. I didn't have time for video games. I got into video games after college.
Because of me.
Emma WW has won the tarot reading. All right. Oh. All right. Yeah, Austin, snooze, you lose. I'll read you later. Like a book. All right. Austin tried. There was an attempt. Because I'm messy, there's coffee rings on my table. See?
I thought there was something on my screen.
No. I mean, I should probably put down like a nicer mat or something.
I got some Yu-Gi-Oh mats you could put down.
Yu-Gi-Oh mats?
Yeah.
I could do the old jealous girlfriend meme mat. All right, so we've got a monthly read for Emma, whom I know nothing about. So this is going to be a really, really cold read. I don't think I know anything about Emma. Emma WW. I don't know what Emma's handle is on Twitter. I might have seen them around on Twitter before, or in the Discord. So people change their names so much.
It's M-Aw.
M-Aw?
Yeah, it's A-W-W.
I think I've sent mail to Emma. I want to say that I sent mail to Emma for like the charity. Like I think I sent Emma a Blu-ray maybe. Because I definitely recognize that name from spreadsheets. We know a lot about Emma. All right, Emma. So which one goes on top? How should I cut this deck? No, nothing. Oh, must have been another Emma. There were like 3. A lot of y'all have the same name. I'm just gonna say I sent mail to like 4 different Rachels, and just out of like 150 people, there were so many Rachels. Left, then right, and middle. Okay, left, then right, then middle. All right. Hope that's what you wanted. Hope I did that correctly. Okay. Another monthly spread for Emma. This is a lot of fun reading for other people actually, because I don't really get to do it much. And this is such a unintentional like Twitch thing, because I was like, oh, will people be like offended by tarot? And then I was like, they can not watch. And then eventually it was just like, okay, but maybe I could have like guests on every time maybe I can read Michael Smallwood next time or something, or Austin or any number of friends, because that was a lot of fun to actually have somebody on. It could almost be like a podcast, but also tarot. I don't know. There goes my phone. All right, got some swords in the Hierophant. Ooh, sorry, Emma. The 2 of Wands, though, bisexual Tatooine. That's fun. Some Pentacles, the Emperor. 9 of Pentacles. 8 of Cups. Got a lot of Chris cards in here. Oh. Okay, and the Moon. Ooh, well, this is fine. This is fine. Got some good stuff. Got some stuff. But it depends on what the position is. Because if it's like, hey, like thing to avoid, bad card, then, you know, that makes sense. All right. Ooh, that's a cool card to pull in the bottom, too. Interesting. All right. I know nothing. Should I be scared? I love the Emperor card. Emperor card's pretty fun. I like the Empress card too. So, current self is the Seven of Swords. This is one of those cards that actually the artwork is very helpful for telling you what it means. This is strategy gathering, and also deceit and manipulation. This is a really interesting card because it's kind of a call-out card in a sense, and I've pulled it a couple times in my monthly spreads before when it's like, hey, you know, you could accomplish what you want, but you kind of got to be a deceptive, manipulative bitch about it. So this is your current self. The full description is this card is about doing what serves your own needs, even if the means are deceptive or manipulative. This is, you are currently a Slytherin. When this card comes up, it may be that you have literally stolen something from somebody, or somebody has stolen from you. It could be that you're sneaking around behind somebody's back, or that somebody is not being upfront with you. So it doesn't necessarily mean you, but it is the current self position, so yeah. You could be stealing time for yourself, playing hooky in order to be alone with your thoughts, or to avoid confrontation. Emma says, I am a Slytherin. Oh! Oh, that's cute. You may be an imposter. You are being an imposter. Using clever mind tricks to get what you want is indicated by this card. Sometimes manipulating a situation to get our way is called for. However, there is a warning here to be mindful of how your actions impact those involved. Research is sometimes indicated by this card, collecting the ideas of others for your own work. Beware of plagiarism, though. Check your citations. Interesting that did not come up for Joe's PhD reading. And finally, this card could indicate that we are plagued by guilt over something that we've done or something that we are thinking of doing. This is the case. Look, more honorable way to achieve what you want. There may be time to correct the situation. So, Emma, what you got going on? Cause this is your current self, and this is a call out. This is saying that there is some underhanded manipulation of a situation going on, or there is guilt about something. Maybe you're thinking about doing something, or maybe you already did something and you're feeling bad about it. So that's interesting. I have no idea what this could possibly be about. But if you are actually a Slytherin in real life, and you play imposter a lot in Among Us, maybe it's just saying that you're gonna be the imposter a lot the next time you play Among Us. Or maybe you feel guilty about killing Ian too much in Among Us. I don't know. This is just an AU about Among Us. All right, so our next card is the Hierophant. This is the monthly theme. Maybe it's Hierophant. I think it's Hierophant. This is also Cthulhu is on this card. Monthly theme. Potato. Cthulhu Cathalo. Emma says, everyone hates me in Among Us. But no, I'm never going to feel guilty about killing Ian. All right, so we've got the Hierophant. Monthly theme. It's time to examine your beliefs. You may have an opportunity to teach someone about life. Will your teachings be flexible so that your student can integrate them into their own life, or are your beliefs rigid and dogmatic? Who or what has been your teacher in the past, and do the lessons you've learned serve you well, or is it time to seek something new? Are you making a decision based on what you believe you should do, or are you tuned into your higher calling? So when we talk about teaching, this isn't necessarily you are literally a teacher, although maybe you are literally a teacher, like Joe will be. But it can also just be about, if you have a younger sibling, if you have somebody who is less experienced in your life at whatever you're good at. If you're an artist and you're an experienced artist and there's, you're getting DMs about, hey, how do I make my art look that way? Or if you are an expert at Among Us and trying to teach other people about how to be the best imposter. Oh, technically I want to be a teacher. Interesting. So this isn't necessarily like the literal teacher role, but if somebody is asking for advice or counsel from you, is your counsel in best for them, or is it very rigid to yourself? Be flexible when you're telling them about what they should do, because maybe what serves you isn't what serves them, and that sort of thing. Monthly theme, examining beliefs. And so that's interesting to tie in with this card too, this the Seven of Swords, your current self, where you're kind of supposedly manipulating situations, maybe being deceptive, maybe even feel guilty over something that you want to do or something that you have done. Maybe time to examine some of those belief systems and some of those goals as well, and really think about, like, okay, is this even worth it? Like, what is the benefits and what is the risks here? Two of Wands, bisexual Tatooine again. This is in the key goal section. This is a very nice card, as we just experienced with Joe. It is all about creative energy, creative force, about planning. So key goal, you're at a point in your life where you have the power to choose, you're filled with creative force, and only have to choose what you want to do with this opportunity before committing to a new direction. This is also the bisexual card, literally. It is the time to look back at where you've come from and forward where you want to go. So far we've got a lot of contemplation, a lot of fork in the road kind of cards, a lot of like, what do I do next kind of cards. So it'll be interesting to see what these tell you, because that's probably going to be pretty important with the rest of what's happening here. You are not stuck with only one option. You do not have to do things the ordinary old way. You have the ability to create an original vision for yourself, be brave, bold, and true. Decide what path you want to take and set one foot in front of the other. You have the power to create your own destiny. So that's your key goal, is to choose, is to get that creative force going in a direction that serves you. The Emperor card is in the slot of the obstacle to overcome. You're gonna have to fight Godzilla. Godzilla's gonna come to town, and you gotta build a mech. You gotta find somebody who's drift compatible and take that guy on. The Emperor is actually about power, structure, stability. This is the father figure card, just so everybody knows. The obstacle to overcome, the father figure, and also structure. When the Emperor appears, it's time to think logically and rationally. Rules, stability, and structure are central to the current situation. This card could be urging you to increase the stability in your life. Your father or father figure may be relevant to the situation at hand. Now, those readings are for if this was in an advice position, but this is in an obstacle position. So I would say whatever structures are around you, and also just, again, the father figure. I don't know if you have a father figure in your life, whether that's a literal father, whether it's a teacher, whether it's even a celebrity or somebody you look up to, but, whatever the chief sort of powerful, figure in your life is, maybe now's the time to shake up the rules that you think you're living by. I hate my father, says Emma. Well, maybe now's the time to do something about that. Liability disclaimer, do not do anything to your father, please. So this is the obstacle to overcome. Yes, the father, the stability, the structure, the sort of things that trap you, sort of the things that have kept you stuck. Now that is an obstacle that will need to be overcome in the month. With Mace is just like, do something. I don't know, Mace. Tell him. Don't. Please stay safe. Please do what is best for you. Do not take my advice. But it is just saying that this is going to be something that's going to come up. This is going to be something that's going to be in your way in the month. And I think when you talk about the key goal being the Two of Wands, which is the anything is possible, follow your dreams, manifest your creative destiny card. Yeah, these two things can come in conflict with each other, because even if we're not talking about the literal father, this is a situation of the structure, what is now, what is the stability that your life is built on, the structure that your life is built on. Sometimes that's in conflict with trying to do something new and trying to do something creative and ambitious and, following your dreams. This is kind of like the, be practical, go major in science card. And this is the, no, I want to be a photographer card, right? So yeah, when this is your goal and this is the obstacle, that makes perfect sense. So you don't literally need to interpret it as the Father. It's just talking about what is the structure. No arson. Don't take my advice. All right, you got your Seven of Pentacles, which is the Xenomorph. This is in the major accomplishment. You will defeat the Xenomorph on the Nostromo. You'll be the sole survivor of the Nostromo. Seven of Pentacles, what do we got? Remember, Pentacles are the suit of wealth. This represents a time of pause and assessment. You've been working on some project, and now you got to stand back and evaluate whether you're on the right path. What are your goals? Are you still directing your action towards them, or have you been sidetracked? Have you been in a similar situation before, and if so, what did you do then? If things are not working out the way you want to, now is the time to look at what you can change. You're making progress, but some readjustment might be necessary before you can achieve mastery. Or it might be that somebody else is evaluating your work at this time. Try to learn from criticism without getting overwhelmed by the negative feedback. You're not failing, you're learning. Now, I don't know where you are in your life. I don't know if you're in college or, if you're in high school or whatever. But I think that's an interesting card for major accomplishment, to be in a feedback stage. So, the goal is ultimately to pursue something that you love, to have this creative force and to set things in motion, to break the system that you have felt trapped by. But right now you're in that feedback stage. And it is an interesting time because right now is about the time for when college applications get reviewed, for when job applications for jobs after college get reviewed. So I don't know if that's a situation you're in right now, but that kind of indicates that usually for me, this card means that I've sent my screenplay off to beta readers and I'm getting feedback from somebody, somebody on my work. Emma is yelling, uh-oh, I don't know what that means. But the good news is whatever the feedback is, even though some of it may be negative, it's not saying that you're about to get bad feedback. It's not saying that you're about to fail or anything like that. It's just saying that you are in a stage where you're pausing and assessing things. I'm trying to find a college job. Oh, okay, so like a summer internship. Interesting. So your applications are in review, and that's where we're at. Although, it does, and hey, it says major accomplishment. So maybe the accomplishment is just the fact that you're working at it. And that, I remember when I was a sophomore in college and a junior as well, and submitting to all sorts of internships, and it was a very exhausting thing. And it was an accomplishment just to apply, really, because doing all the research and spending hours and hours writing resumes and all that crap, you're putting in the effort. And if you knock on enough doors, one will answer, and you'll get what you want in the end. But I will say, my track record was about for every 20 places I would apply, I would hear back from one. And I found that is true in most aspects of everything I've ever applied for, whether it be jobs or internships or even, queries when I was shopping my novel around to agents. It was like 1 in 20. That was the magic number. So that's just my own personal advice there. All right, so 9 of Pentacles, Harper's Island again for the what to avoid. Avoid the old lighthouse lady. All right, so when this card appears, it's about discipline, quieting animalistic instincts, self-reliance, and so that's interesting to be in the avoiding card. So this is actually the opposite of the last time, where like with Joe it said avoid friendship, avoid other people, avoid going to parties, which in social distancing times does make some amount of sense. This is saying avoid that, self-reliance, avoid feeling like you have to do everything yourself. Maybe ask for advice for somebody. Maybe go to a teacher. Maybe go to a trusted family member or a friend. You have a support system. It doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be a situation where you're locked into, only relying on yourself. And actually, at the bottom it says it could be telling you that you give off the impression that you don't need anybody else. And maybe try to avoid giving off that impression as well, because one thing I've learned in my life is that everywhere I've ever gotten is because I had the foresight to ask for help, and people are a lot more willing to help than sometimes we think they are. So avoid being trapped and limited by this belief of, oh, only I could do it. I have to be, super, super independent, and I have to do all this alone. You don't have to be the solitary lighthouse, right? You don't have to be the singular lighthouse on the island. You can be reliant on others and ask for help. And also, because this is the discipline and quiet your animalistic instincts card, avoiding that as well is interesting. I think that ties in with the Two of Wands a little bit. Get a little experimental. Get a little, maybe apply for things that you wouldn't normally apply for. Don't feel like you have to be rigid in what you do. If you are applying for jobs right now, just be like, hey, I don't really fit this. I'm not qualified for this, but, I'm going to submit anyway, because maybe they'll find me interesting. Maybe they're looking for something that they're not saying. Maybe they'll be more lenient. Yeah. So get a little weird is my interpretation of this. The Ten of Cups is in the what to embrace. He's very huggable, isn't he? He's a very cute guy in a rainbow. Embrace your inner gayness. Okay, already did. Yeah, no, I applied to 60 jobs when I graduated for college, and a lot of them were things I wasn't really qualified for. But again, when you apply to 20 places, just, you'll probably get at least one. So that includes places that, maybe they'll take me. Maybe this is what I want. Maybe it's not, it's not what I want. Maybe I would turn it down. But at least if you can get that interview, I find that things like that are very much a sense of momentum. It's like if you get one interview, then you'll get another and another, and then eventually get an offer. And when it rains, it pours. It's weird how it works, but that's always been my experience. So the Ten of Cups is a card depicting a grateful and joyous family. When it shows up in a reading, you have happiness to share with those around you. This is what to embrace. And again, I think that fits in with the, what to avoid. Avoid solitude, avoid feeling like you have to be self-reliant. Embrace family. Remember that family is not literal. Family can be found family. It can be the peers around you. It can be your friends. It can be your folks on the internet. I see Emma yelling, Ian. Because Ian is here. But maybe that's a sign. Embrace Ian. Emotional connections and home life are blessed. Take this time to be grateful for the love and happiness you have in your life. So embrace what you have. Embrace the relationships that you have, the friendships you have, your Octa family, yes. Ian shows up just as we talk about embracing family and embracing friends. And these people want to see you succeed. These people want to support you and want to be here for you and want to help in any way that they can. And again, you don't have to do it all on your own. You don't have to be the lighthouse alone on the island. You can embrace the folks that care about you, because they do, and they're going to be here for you. So yeah, that's a very nice card. I like pulling that card. It's always nice to be reminded to be grateful for what we have. Eight of Cups, where to find support. And what's interesting about this is I think this is gonna contradict everything I just said, I think. The Eight of Cups. Where's the cups? The Eight of Cups. Letting go and moving on. Where to find support. Actually, no, that makes sense. Letting go and moving on. Taking time alone to contemplate one's emotions and decide if leaving is the best route. It could mean literally leaving or leaving behind hopes and dreams. When this card appears, you or someone involved is tired of feeling disappointed and is ready to look for other things. It can also be about a craving for spiritual deepening. Now, where to find support? This idea of moving on. So I don't think that this is about being alone. I don't think that this is, I think that these two cards definitely indicate that you definitely want to be with people. But coupled with the review card, yeah, I don't know. It might be possible that you might not get what you want in the way that you were expecting it. And maybe there's some aspect that you have to put to bed. Maybe there's, and you do have a lot of choices, remember. There's a key goal of having lots and lots of choices and lots of things to decide between. And sometimes we have a lot of different options that are good, and to say yes to something good, we also have to say no to something that's also good. And sometimes that can be kind of sad to move on from an opportunity and, say yes to something. And again, just in my own experience, this has happened to me with your particular situation with internships. One time I actually got offered an internship to work at Disney World. I was given an internship to be a chemistry intern at the Living Seas and Animal Kingdom, working in their water chemistry, water treatment department. So it would have been an 8-month internship working at Walt Disney World. And I had to turn it down because it was right when I graduated college. And they basically didn't promise a job after. They're like, you'll be here for 8 months, you'll make $12 an hour, and then you go home in January, and good luck finding a job in your hometown again. And I had a job offer already in town, like for a full-time job as a chemist. And so I took the, full-time job to actually go start my career, and I had to say no to Disney World. And it's like, both were amazing choices, but I did have to move on from the idea of, hey, this is a cool opportunity. That'd be really cool to do. It's kind of a dream of mine. But I have to go, do this other choice because it is ultimately better for me. So I think that that's what I'm hoping for, at least for you, is that, once you start to get some of that pay dirt when it comes to these applications and everything and whatever you're pursuing, starting to give you choices and starting to give you options and offers that, when you have to say yes to something, you may have to say no to something that is also fun. Say no to Disney World. Say no to the mouse. Yeah, they rejected you. Austin. I was very surprised when they offered it to me. I was shocked when they gave it to me, honestly.
I think they said no to me because I'd already worked for ESPN.
Oh. But just generally speaking, yeah, sometimes you can have a lot of and hell, I mean, I very recently, I shelved a screenplay that I worked on for a very long time, a project that I was very invested in, but I chose something I wanted to do more over it. So yeah, I mean, just because you have to move on from something, just because you have to say no to something doesn't mean that it's like a loss. It doesn't mean that it's a net loss. Doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just necessarily means that, sometimes we have to make difficult choices between not the lesser of two evils, but the lesser of two goods. And maybe that's what we're saying to find support here is in the idea of, okay, well, I'm going to do what's best for me rather than necessarily maybe what's more fun or what's more impulsive. So finally, we have the Moon card, and this is advice and encouragement. That's an interesting card because the Moon means the unknown. It means what's hidden. And it kind of connects back to the Seven of Swords a little because it's all about, somebody's hiding something from you and yada, yada, yada. But what do we got here? Let's see how we can interpret this. The Moon. It's the unconscious and the intuition, advice and encouragement. Okay, so this makes a little more sense. It is time to pay attention to your intuition and dreams. What do your deepest feelings tell you about your current situation? What are you most afraid of right now? Sometimes the most profound growth is found in facing our deepest fears. You might be hiding something from others or yourself. This was also in the current self card. Someone may also be hiding something from you, contributing to confusion and fear. The Moon advises us to go within to seek better understanding before taking action. It might be wise to keep some things hidden for now. So this is advice and encouragement. So yeah, maybe keep a couple things close to the vest if you're working on stuff. It also, again, connects to that current self card, the Seven of Swords. Something isn't hiding. You might be keeping a secret, or maybe somebody's keeping a secret from you. Yeah, interesting. Paying attention to intuition and dreams. Really, really thinking about where you want to be. I think it's the best advice that this can give, is really contemplating, meditating on it. Because I think what everything else is saying is that you're going to be having a lot of choices, and you're also going to be depending a lot on friends, and they're all going to have opinions about things, I think. Because, you know, it's great to surround yourself with other people and stuff, and to lean on other people for support. And that's a great way to crowdsource options and knowledge. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. At the end of the day, the decisions you make are yours. And it's good to remember to look within yourself, and don't serve the emperor. Don't serve the father figure. Don't serve the system. Serve yourself, and serve the creative energy and the person you want to be. Feeling way too called out. All right. I don't know how. I mean, I'm just kind of gleaning off of, you know, what you've dropped in the chat a little bit. But here's the Devil card. So the Devil is at the bottom of the deck. This is the thing that you've been trying to avoid. Now, this is an interesting card to show up at the bottom of the deck. The Devil card is about overindulgence in something that is bad for you. So maybe that's something that you've been not addressing, that there is something in your life that's not serving you, something in your life. You know, this card can indicate things like addiction, but it doesn't necessarily have to be addiction to, like, you know, a controlled substance or anything. It can be addiction to drama. It can be addiction to, you know, waiting for that guy to text you back who definitely isn't interested in you and who you should probably give up on. You know, it's also a card of indulgence and overindulgence. You may be ignoring your higher self and be disconnected from spirit. You may be deceiving yourself. These are all aspects of the Devil that are being pushed down that you don't want to look at. This is the bottom of the deck because you're trying to avoid it. So, yeah, I would say take care of yourself. Really be honest with yourself about what you're indulging in that might be hurting you, whether that be, you know, social media habits or behaviors with people, addiction, overindulgence in, you know, Girl Scout cookies, you know. I know it's Girl Scout cookie season here, so that's my overindulgence for the January and February months. So yeah, that's just something to be mindful of, and I wish the best for you in overcoming that. And also connected to the Moon card, if this is that you are bearing down your higher self and there's something inside you that's trying to draw attention to itself and you're ignoring it and pushing it down, that Moon card is giving you the advice to address it and to pay attention to it and listen to it. What's your intuition saying? What do you really, really want to do? And maybe there's that contrast between what society or what the father figure, what stability, you know, what other people want you to do, and what you actually want to do and what want to be. And at a crossroads in your life too, when you're looking at, you know, things like jobs, and you know, college is a huge transitionary time for a lot of people where they're figuring out who they are. I think that is always relevant to always try to sit down and pay attention. What do I actually want to do with my life? I mean, I'm sitting here reading tarot for everybody, and I majored in chemistry, so we can tell that sometimes you get very far away from what you want to do when it turns out that you majored in something for other people. All right, so that's all for today. I loved reading for you guys. I think this was a lot of fun. I think I might do this again. I might add this to our normal lineup. It seemed like people really enjoyed this, and I'd be happy to have folks like Chris or Smallwood or other friends on, maybe even our mods sometimes. We'll see what happens in the future, but I think we need more tarot in our life. I think we do. So thank you all for joining me. Austin, are you going to go ahead and get Minecraft going? Is your stream already going? Yeah. Okay, so Austin is streaming Minecraft. I'm going to go ahead and set up a raid for him if you want to check him out. So raid Austin Bites. All right. Thank you for this, Michelle. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. And thank you for attending the this stream last night as well, our gay visual novel stream. That was a lot of fun. On Monday, we will be resuming Opwoo at 2 p.m. Eastern, so I will see you all then, hopefully, and have a great weekend. As always, stay hydrated and have a happy time zone, and Austin will see you in Minecraft. Bye.